Hello everyone, my name is Ian, aka Senior Everything, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the new Imagine Dragons album, Evolve. Now, this came out pretty recently. I think it was this past Friday, and it was met with mixed reviews, especially from fans and critics alike. There were some okay singles leading up to this, particularly the track "Believer," which I thought had this great leading bass drum and this feeling of just stadium anthemness that we haven't really seen since their first debut album, Night Visions. I thought that was great. Then we got a pretty weird track called Thunder, which, I mean, the music video was really cool, except the people who were dancing weren't really dancing as much as they were proving how double-jointed they were, but, I mean, the music video had great visuals, but the song itself was lacking in substance, and especially that annoying, just reverberating, high-pitched, thunder, thunder, that was going on. That was really weird. That was a pretty big put-off for me. I got used to it as it went on, as I listened to it, especially when the album was released. I re-listened to it, and it has a certain spunkiness to it. You know, it definitely puts you in a good mood, and you can feel the groove in it. But as far as an Imagine Dragons track, it's not that spectacular, essential, or very good, especially with that annoying reverberating thing that's going on. And then their third single that they released, Whatever It Takes, was an okay pop rock tune. I like the chorus that it had there. No, the pre-chorus, actually, where it had that, the dangerous part, where it was just repeating that, and Dan Reynolds kind of did this thing where he was, high, but also very, raspy, and just kind of, pushing you with those vocals, kind of like a knife that was just cutting through the song, and it was very, very cool to see. That one I didn't know how to feel about it, because in the beginning, the first part of the verses, I feel like that kind of fast singing thing that he was doing was not really working out, especially the way that he did that weird kind of vibrato towards after each of the sentences. Didn't really work well. And then they released the album, and I'm torn. It has a very, very melodramatic, cheesy, cliched 80s pop rock kind of deal. Almost, it kind of sounds like a low-budget U2. And I think that's especially not a thing that Imagine Dragons have been aspiring to. I mean, in their first album, you hear this raw but also produced pop rock sound that sounded natural. It sounded good. It worked with the mood that they were setting up. But in this new album, kind of feels like they threw that out the window. And whatever powerfulness that Dan is able to push out through his vocal capabilities, or however many awesome guitar solos, which there are a lot of, but sadly they're towards the end of these really subpar songs, it loses in its lyrical content, and especially the overwhelming synthesizers that go over a bunch of these tracks. I will say the synthesizers do work in some songs. For example, the song Dancing in the Dark. I thought that was really, really cool. It had this melodramatic, but in a good way, kind of feel about it, the whole song, and you put the synthesizer in Dan's voice where it just kind of goes quiet, and then up, and then quiet, and then up, where it still sounds like Dan's voice, but in a very good kind of, this is weird, but it kind of sounds like a robot, talking to his crush or something like that, and it really works, especially the kind of the background synthesizers that it has, where it's where it really works with the very classy and quiet but yet powerful part of the song. So Dancing in the Dark I enjoyed. I also enjoyed the track Yesterday. I felt like that's where the songwriting really, I feel like in the second half the songwriting really takes a big surge for the best. And on yesterday, they have this amazing metaphor of yesterday. It's like, here's to my yesterday, or here's to the mistakes that I've made in my life, because without those, I couldn't have been what I am now. I couldn't have risen to that opportunity. Um, so, and also it has kind of this feel where like you're in like a cozy bar somewhere with all of your friends, and you're just like talking about the mistakes you've made, but how they're making you a better person. Thought that was a fun song. Also the track, as I mentioned, the track "Believer," I thought that was great. With the very rock stadium vibe that it has. Like I can imagine them playing that live in like Madison Square Garden, and just the whole thing being amazingly awesome. Um, and then also the track "Thunder," I warmed up to a bit. I'm still not a fan of those weird high pitched vocals that they have going on. Whatever it takes, I feel like I also warmed up to. But the main track I feel here that just it's actually three main tracks that have the same feel, the same cliched songwriting, the same overwhelming synthesizers, and almost no passion in Dan's voice, the lack of any good guitar work in it. These are songs like Rise Up, I think it's called, Start Over, and the first one. I don't know why. Those three tracks just seem like they're so cliched, they're so overworked, they're such examples of badly used pop rock that it just doesn't work for the whole thing. Um, but then again, there are tracks like Yesterday and Dancing in the Dark and Believer that kind of have this uniqueness to them that I feel kind of brings it all around. Um, Overall, there are only like 5 tracks on this entire album that I can say that I really enjoy. The rest again are just cliched pop rock 80s kind of not very good tracks that I feel that I mean they Imagine Dragons, I don't blame them, they've got huge. They're trying to do something that's safe, that works, but it doesn't really. So if I were to give this album a rating, I'd have to give it a 4.5 out of 10. Um, just due to the overwhelming cliches that you hear in a lot of these songs. Thanks for watching. And there will be more reviews soon. Bye.